When asked what elements make up an effective literacy classroom, Harry Wong, an educational speaker and author, replied that in an effective classroom, students should not only know what they are doing, they should also know why and how. This reflects in today's modern teaching environment, as a numerous amount of teaching elements must be taken into account when developing and implementing an effective style and approach to teaching and learning within the classroom. Despite the difficulty of creating such a learning environment, it is possible to produce an effective foundation to Year 2 literacy classroom. We must employ a range of techniques and technologies to motivate and interact with students in ways which establish a positive and beneficial learning atmosphere. This style of teaching should actively engage students directly and consider the variety of ways in which students are encouraged to participate. An effective teaching learning plan should include linking learning to real-world purposes and events, prepare students for the future outside of school, use technology in a variety of ways to appeal to students' interests, and it should utilise peer and teamwork as often as possible. Within the classroom, the diverse learning styles, learning levels, and abilities of students must be identified and taken into account when planning. This is to ensure that all students are catered for, whether they require a specific modification to the program for academic excellence, or a program to accommodate for students who may be struggling with the set work. Time management is another crucial factor that a teacher must incorporate into an effective literacy classroom every day. Young students require a balanced ratio of work in literacy, numeracy, and other subjects throughout the day. However, use of reading and writing time must be followed with suitable activity in order to generate discussion and consolidate the skills and strategies used to complete the set work. Furthermore, the activities used after reading and writing time need to be altered and prepared differently on occasion. Using a range of different activities keeps students interested and provides a new learning experience which engages students to think differently about their work and how they may apply and use different strategies in order to complete it. The layout of an effective foundation to Year 2 classroom is another dynamic element that must be taken into consideration. Visual learning should be a dominant factor as young children associate learning most effectively when fully immersed in visual information, such as pictures, diagrams, films, videos, demonstrations, and use of interactive whiteboards. Another essential factor that must be addressed within an effective literacy classroom requires students to be completely immersed in a print-rich environment. By placing words, sounds, and diagrams throughout the classroom, current student learning is increased in a number of ways. It is important, however, that these resources remain in accessible places where students can see in order to seek help or revisit what they have previously learned. The use of a colourful learning environment can be fundamental within the classroom if utilised correctly. As colourful surroundings often capture students' attention and motivate them to contribute to their surrounding learning environment via posters, diagrams, and other work. The learning environment should forever be changing shape and should be updated as students begin new topics. The learning of literacy within a foundation to Year 2 classroom can be taught most effectively by placing students into small rotational groups which switch between reading and writing activities every 20 minutes. As attention spans of young students tend to drift when spending copious amounts of time on the same activity. Organising children into these rotational groups teaches students the importance of group work, allows for discussion among peers, and demonstrates that everyone interprets stories and text differently from one another. Guided reading is another effective strategy used by a teacher to give students the chance to apply problem-solving strategies to figure out words and deal with difficult sentence structure. The use of guided reading in a foundation to Year 2 classroom helps improve the literacy levels of students as they begin to understand concepts and ideas that they have never encountered in print before. An effective foundation to Year 2 teacher must be able to identify and use these particular elements within the classroom on a daily basis in order to create a positive and advantageous learning environment. However, teachers must also be able to connect with their students through various interactions and should be seen as an approachable role model that students themselves can go to for advice and guidance, whether that be for schoolwork or issues outside of school. Every day, teachers make countless real-time decisions and facilitate dozens of interactions between themselves and their students. A teacher's goal within the classroom is to maintain a friendly relationship with their students and to also monitor and offer them support, whether that be for learning, emotional, instructional, or behavioural support through various types of communication. Within a Foundation to Year 2 classroom, the teacher-student's interaction is strongly influenced in and out of the classroom by the teaching perspective embraced by the teacher. A successful Foundation to Year 2 teacher must implement a teaching plan, maximising the use of interaction between students and themselves, as this guides students to develop language learning and social skills that are crucial and important skills used every day in real-world events. Positive interactions between the teacher and the students need to be structured and developed in a way which the students are able to understand, reflect, and use the various types of interactions that are relevant to their learning and surrounding environment. The teacher-student relationship is one of the most powerful elements within the learning environment of a Foundation to Year 2 classroom. Teacher-student relations have a considerable role in affecting and influencing young students' development, school engagement, and academic motivation. These relationships form the basis of the social context in which learning takes place, and interactions are not only influenced by a number of aspects including gender, but in turn also influence a student's academic outcomes and behaviour. Supportive and positive relationships between teachers and students ultimately promote a sense of school belonging and encourage students to participate cooperatively in classroom activities. The key to a positive student-teacher relationship in a Foundation to Year 2 classroom depends on the teacher's ability to connect with his or her students. It is essential that the teacher provides one-on-one time with each and every student when possible, and utilises the feedback given from students to improve upon their teaching plan. The overall importance of student-teacher and teacher-student interactions are that they have become critical in developing a learning environment where students should feel confident in their own abilities and are able to contribute to the teacher's own learning within the classroom. Teaching is a profession that requires both the teacher and the pupil to learn from each other through these various daily interactions in order for the classroom to perform effectively and efficiently.